There are 9 very exciting races down at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth this weekend on the summer course, racing on Saturday the 3rd of December 2022, and my oh my, it's the end of the year. It's near the end of the year. It's unbelievable how time flies, but I suppose they say time flies when you're having fun. And with me to go through all 9 races on the card at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, on the line is my good friend and colleague Graham Hawkins. He's going to be on the line with me and talking through the selections. Graham, how are you today? What a glorious day it is.
Yeah, good morning, Warren. As you said, 9 exciting races, but I have to add 9 very challenging races at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth this Saturday, the 3rd of December, headed, of course, by the first Grade 1 of the season. And that's the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas, but more about that later.
Yep, let's get straight into it. Let's go straight to the action, straight to the jugular, and start off with race 1, which is a maiden plate over 1,200 metres at 20 to 1, 12.40. If you're down in the Cape, get to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, because it's just a wonderful time of the year to be in the Cape. In fact, any time of the year is wonderful to be in the Cape. Let's start off, Graham, with the first race, which is the... no, it's not the first leg of the bipot. My apologies. The first leg of the bipot is the second race. But there's plenty of racing action and racing betting opportunities. And this horse of Andrew Fortunes and Ashley Fortunes, Graham, Eldo Dome is going to ride. So it's very much a family affair. 2 attractive runs on the high felt. And I quite like this Rafif Gelding.
Yeah, Black Egret, number 1. He has been priced up the 16 to 10 favourite, so he's a clear favourite. But for me, it's all about number 13, Veldskud. He hasn't run for more than a year. He was solidly back to make a winning debut on the 20 in September last year. He ran second to the very decent Winchester Mansion. He is the second choice in the market at 3 to 1. We have no idea why he's been off the track, but he clearly had a problem. If he comes back fit and well, he's got to be the one to beat. But Black Egret, Gimmy's Laddie, and also Cafe Culture, they come into the reckoning. So yeah, Black Egret has the form, Veldskud has the potential, Gimmy's Laddie's been solid in defeat in recent runs. So, as you said, it's not part of the exotics, but it looks like a nice quartet race, the opening event over 1,200 metres.
It certainly does look like a nice quartet race, and in the official publications that I did for Cape Town Racing, my selections were 1 Black Egret from 13 Veldskud. So you're in the camp of Veldskud, I'm in the camp of Black Egret, so maybe some boxed exactas could be the way to start the day. And you're quite right, Gimmy's Laddie, Cafe Culture are ones that certainly can get into the action. But let's move along to race 2, ladies and gentlemen, which is the first leg of the bipot, a maiden plate, and they're going to go around the turn, 1,400 metres. And yeah, and I looked at this, Graham, I thought that yellow and black colours, there's a lot of yellow colours, but the yellow and black of Maritz Fontaine and the yellow and black of Main Chance, Sharapova and Global Songstress, I couldn't really work out, you know, who I was going to make my first selection, because I found it that difficult. But I'm narrowly in the corner of number 10, Global Songstress, purely because her local introduction last time, 28 days ago behind Mulberry Street, was a fantastic effort.
This is a very difficult start to the bipod. It's very competitive. Once again, they've priced up number 4, Allende, as the favourite at 5 to 2. Has been placed in all 5 starts and has been very expensive to follow. When you see Allende, you almost say, well, okay, let me find which horse is going to beat her this afternoon. And you've picked out possibly 2, number 9, Sharapova, and number 10, Global Songstress. I must be honest, I'm prepared to give number 4, Allende, one more chance. My second choice would be number 7, On Board. I thought she ran a very, very eye-catching debut. I know the Andre Nel stable is yearning for a winner. It's got to happen one of these days. And this daughter of Vercingetorix was very impressive on debut. She goes the extra 400 metres, which should be right up her alley. And then their stable companion, also number 3, Rafif's Choice. And the 2 you've mentioned, Sharapova and Global Songstress. If you like Global Songstress, you know, she's attractively priced at 7 to 1, number 10, Global Songstress. And then there's one other to consider, number 15, Tuscany. As I said earlier, it's a very challenging card at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Saturday, Cape Fillies Guineas Day. Allende should certainly be there and thereabouts. You've got to structure your bets around the daughter of Dynasty, but she has been expensive to follow, and she could again find one to beat her.
Yeah, well assessed there, Graham, and it is difficult. And as the viewers, as they're listening to this preview, you've given two numbers, I've given two numbers, and they're different. And I'm sure if we had another racing analyst to give their numbers, they would also be different. It is that competitive. But Allende, yeah, for me, you never say you turn your back on a horse, but because that's when they come up and win. But you're quite right, she's been expensive to follow. But a good race to open the first leg of the bipod. So let's move on then and talk about race 3, which is a middle stakes for fillies and mares over 1,800 metres. The race runs at 10 to 2, 13.50. And it is the first leg of the place accumulator. And all these exotics that are available to us every day, are really worth having a go at, because some healthy dividends could be on the cards. The third race, Graham, well, you spoke about value, attractively priced Global Songstress 7 to 1 in the previous race. This was Evening Primrose of Gareth Van Zales. Keegan de Mello rides, and of course Spencer Cook's looking after the horses down in the Cape alongside Gareth and Gavin. I'm not going to write her off on her last start. That was a local introduction. It wasn't the greatest effort, in fairness, but I'm expecting a lot more from her. She's got ability, this filly.
She does have ability. She's cracked the inside gate, whereas last time she was drawn 11 of 11. So that's certainly going to account for some improvement. She has a chance in what is another very tricky little fillies and mares race. It's a classified stakes over 1,800 metres. Evening Primrose is 1 over 2,000 metres, so the distance is not a question mark. I'm going to go for number 7, Mita. She got lost in the early part of the race last time and flew home to finish 4th behind Gold Poker Game. She has very good, solid form. I think the daughter of Soft Falling Rain is going to love this step up to the trip. She received 6 kilograms from Evening Primrose, which kind of made me think that she'd have the edge over Evening Primrose. So not confident, but I'm with Mita, who's been priced up at 33 to 10. I think she's going to love the trip. Silver Links, of course, carries bottom weight. Justin Snaith has got a lot of runners with low weights, and he can't use Richard Free because he's restricted to 54 kilograms. So Muzi Yeni gets a ride on Silver Links. She's a rainbow chance. You talked about the KZN Raider from Gareth Van Zales stable, Evening Primrose. Well, Peter Muscat sends out Rocky Reef, also solid form. And the second choice in the market is, in fact, Academic Gold. So it all adds up to a very tricky race. You're in the camp, perhaps, of number 1, Evening Primrose, but I'm in the camp of number 7, Mita.
Graham, for those that have got limited budgets, which is, like the most of us, place accumulator, I know it's not the pick six, it's the place accumulator I'm talking, and there's only 8 runners. PA, or would you bank a Mita, or would you, suggest maybe putting 3 or 4 runners in, because it is that competitive?
I'm going to put 3 horses in because I don't want to go out the first leg, and I'm going to go with numbers 3, Rocky Reef, 6, Silver Links, and 7, Mita as my choices in the first leg of the place accumulator. But Mita gets my vote. Okay,
lovely. Thank you. Let's move on to race 4 then, which is the first leg of the big one, as Dee's Dynant calls it, the pick 6. And at the early time of recording, scratched is number 1, Copper View. And we ask you, as always, to check your scratchings, check your jockey changes, equipment adjustments, betting moves. Do all those checks before you take your final bets, because just the other day there was a horse scratched at the start. Things can change at any time, but number 1, Copper View, is scratched at the time of recording. Here's a good race, an interesting race. Number 5, Act Naturally, the Karari filly for Justin Snaith, Nick Johnson, Richard Faree, has won 2 out of her last 3 and is clearly on the upgrade. Queen of Sparta's also won 2 out of her last 3, and she too's clearly on the upgrade. Fur Baby's a horse that's had valid excuses in her post-maiden runs, and she could be better than what we're seeing of late. And number 1, Copper View, is scratched, so I thought that had a chance too, but that'll have to come back another day. But Graham, could it be a race between Queen of Sparta and Act Naturally, or was it deeper than that?
Well, as I said, and I'm going to say it over and over again, it's a very challenging card. So somewhere along the way, you've got to take a few chances and go light. And it could well turn out to be a toss-up between number 2, Queen of Sparta, and number 5, Act Naturally. I'm in the camp of number 5, Act Naturally, slightly over Queen of Sparta. That is not to say that there aren't others with chances. Zippy Over, Treasure Hunt, Fur Baby, you've mentioned, even Perfect Trust. I've been following her, the Eric Sands filly. She's beautifully bred, but she's copped a wide draw this time. So I'm happy to narrow it down to just to the 2 runners, Queen of Sparta, Act Naturally, and hope and pray that we've got it right and that one of the 2 delivers. But as I said, my first choice would be number 5, Act Naturally.
Okay, I am in your camp. I believe we'll be able to get through with just those 2 runners. So let's not mull over the 4th race for too much longer, and let's go on to race 5 then, which is a Group 3 event. It's the Cape Summer Stayers Handicap, sponsored by Drakenstein Stud, 2,500 meters. And Graham, I'm either going to be very rich or very poor after this race meeting, because there's a couple of horses I like that are at attractive odds. And in this race, I'm in the camp of Rex Union, who's around 8 to 1. I saw there was some 10 to 1 when the betting first came out, and there's been a little nibble for Rex Union. I like him. I'm not saying he's a certainty, because there are plenty others with chances. But my first choice is around 8 to 1 at the time of recording.
Well, he's got a definite chance, and of course he's owned by the sponsors. They'd like to get their money back. There's no doubt about that. So Rex Union, clear chance. There's so many with obvious chances. You know, you talk about Rex Union, you talk about Salvatore Mundi, you talk about Baratheon. We've got to forget about Blackthorn's last run. Something went clearly amiss. We've got to believe he's absolutely his best, and at his best there's not a hell of a lot to choose between him and Rex Union. So they've got chances. But I'm again going to take a bit of a liberty. The future is bright. He's had 3 runs over this sort of trip. They've all been over 2-4. He goes the extra 100 meters, which I think will be in his favor. He's had those 3 starts. He's won twice and run second once. So he's got a really near perfect record over this kind of trip. He carries just 52.5. He's very fit. He won 10 days ago, the son of Futura. And then there's the stable companion, Navy Strength. And the only reason I'm throwing him in, he's the early favorite, is because we don't know. He's never raced past 1,950 meters. He could fail to get home over this extended trip, or he could even be better than he has shown to date over the extended trip. So I'm going to take my chances and go with just numbers 1, Future is Bright, and Navy Strength number 4. I absolutely respect your choice. I absolutely understand that there are many others that can win it. But for narrower perms, you know, we can't take 5, 6, 7 horses in every race, so you've got to have a view and you've got to tighten them up. I think the Future is Bright at 7 to 1 is very good each way value. That's going to be one of my each way plays of the day. Number 1, the Future is Bright in race 5. But I'm going to rely on 1 or 4 Navy Strength to get me through. Okay, that's the staying race. And of course, yeah, Blackthorn, you touch on Blackthorn. I had the privilege of visiting him at his stables in Gauteng just the other day. And my, oh my, he looked an absolute picture, did horse number 9, Blackthorn. But that's the staying race. You've heard what Graham likes. You heard what I like. Just a guideline for you, because it's a tough race. There are plenty others in with chances. But let's move on to the Group 2 event, which is race 6 of 9. It is the WSB.co.za Southern Cross Stakes. As I've said, a Group 2 event over 1,000 meters. And thank you to all our sponsors, because, of course, sponsors is what we need. And we thank them for their continuous support. Graham, a good race. And again, we haven't got the time to go through each and every runner. But I think Brett Crawford and Ridgemont hold a very, very strong hand. And again, attractively priced. Stiptilix 8 to 1. Whoa is 11 to 2. And if they had to run first and second, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Neither would I. 7 Stiptilix and 11 Whoa. You've picked up on them. They ran in the Laissez-Faire Stakes, which was over 1,100 meters. Stiptilix ran second to Quintus Light. Whoa ran fourth to Quintus Light. Not much between them. There will again be not much between them. Splitting them on that occasion was Santa Maria. She ran third. I expect that form, the Laissez-Faire Stakes form, to hold up. It's not in Santa Maria's favor that they're stepping back from 1,100 meters to 1,000 meters. But she's all class, this daughter of Trippy. And if they go really hard, and if the headwind happens to be blowing strongly, and of course that we won't know until race time, then Santa Maria could be the right one. But yes, it's Santa Maria, Stiptilix, and Whoa, the top 3 for me. They ran second, third, and fourth in the Laissez-Faire Stakes. Princess Keller, obviously, we all know she'd prefer further, but she's all class, and who knows, running fresh, she could come up trumps over this shorter trip. But I'm going to rely on 5 Santa Maria, 7 Stiptilix, and 11 Whoa. Before we move on to the next Group 2 race, quick question for you. Ipika, horse number 4,
from the Mike de Kock stable. I know that, you know, this horse is taking on a lot stronger now. But my oh my, her last run, which was 16 days ago, just 16 days ago, she looked all swamped and they were going to go past her, but she just came back and ended up winning by nearly 2 lengths. It was a fantastic effort. Could she get into the action?
She can. Obviously, you've got to respect Mike de Kock's Travellers. If you like Ipico, you've got to like a little bit of Bella Chica. Ashley Fortune's Raider as well. So obviously those 2 Highveld Raiders, they are absolutely distance suited, which perhaps is not the case for Santa Maria and for Whoa Whoa Whoa. Stiptalik, I think, is fine over 1,000 meters. Yes, of course they can make their presence felt, but I think they're stepping up against much better than they've met in the recent times. That's what I'm relying on. I think they could get a share of the prize money, but I would be surprised, somewhat surprised, if they were to lower the colours of all of Santa Maria, Stiptalik and Whoa Whoa Whoa. Righty-ho,
let's go. Then the 7th race is the World Sports Betting Green Point Stakes. It's a Group 2 event over 1,600 metres. And if all things are said and done, the race will run at 4:15, 16:15, R500,000 rand, 500,000 rand. And news came through, I think it was yesterday or the day before, of the scratching of Jet Dark. And the Snaith outfit, professional as always, as are a lot of the yards in South Africa, professional and communication. And there was a video posted and a press release posted about Jet Dark, more of a precautionary than anything else. But sad to hear that he's not going to take part.
Yeah, he's under medication, so he can't take part. I believe the injury is very minor injury, but clearly once you've medicated the horse to any degree, you've got to take him out. That paves the way for Comedy Ding to build on his excellent 1,200-meter race last time when he almost pulled off the betting coup of the year. He clearly is better over 1,600 meters, but even better over further. Will he suffer the second run after rest syndrome? I'm not sure. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going with Comedy Ding to win it in the absence of Jet Dark. Obviously, all of our bets had to change because of the scratching of Jet Dark. But I'm also going to go, one of my bets for the plays for the day is Universal a Place. I think he represents, he's the rank outsider in the field at 25-1, which I find quite amazing. He ran in the same sprint as Comedy Ding. He got interfered with. He ran well enough. He's looking superb. He's much better this trip. He was in one, strong Guineas candidate, ran second in the Derby. He's preparing for a crack at the King's Plate and, of course, the WSB Cape Met. So I'm expecting a big run from Universal. I think for those who are more adventurous and want to have a small nibble at 25-1, I wouldn't put you off. But I think 7-2, the place, is very attractive odds. Clearly, Comedy Ding is the one to beat. Nice to see Linebacker back. Nice to see Rascallion going on. Nice to see Golden Ducat, how they're going to progress. There are a lot of question marks here. So it's not a cut and dried race because Fire Rally, Trip of Fortune, they all stake claims. But clearly, Warren, Comedy Ding has got to be the one to beat.
Yep, no arguments there. And thanks for that value suggestion, 6 Universal. Glad you mentioned Golden Ducat because my, oh my, what a comeback run that was. That was scintillating. So I'm sure he'll have tightened up from that and could certainly get a big blow in here, Golden Ducat. But Graham's value is Universal. We're all in the camp of Comedy Ding. That was also a fabulous run. And my value is number 9, Pomp and Power for the back end of Quartet. So Graham's given you Universal for a bit of value. I'm giving you Pomp and Power for some back end of Quartet place value. But he's quite right. They're all running to beat Comedy Ding. Okay, let's move on then to the next race, which is the 8th race, the Group 1, the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas, 1,600 meters, 10-5, 1650, and it's R1 million. That's what they're racing for. Fantastic. Graham, again, I spoke about Brett Crawford and Ridgemont holding a strong hand in the previous race or two, and if they were to run first and second, I wouldn't be shocked. Well, I'm going to make a similar statement here, but this time it's Brett Crawford and it's not Ridgemont, it's Hollywood. And, some may think, well, am I balmy? I'm not suggesting that they're good things, but when I look at Happy Chance priced up at 25-1, I had to look again because she was impressive last time. She was all wrong in her penultimate start, and her maiden she impressed. I'm not saying that this Dynasty filly is a good thing. I'm just saying she's not a 25-1 shot. Make it snappy. He's around 8-1. Ran third, at least beat Marina you know, by 3 lengths. I know Marina was prepping, but still that was a fantastic effort. And then obviously Bella, the horse to beat, Gimmy's Lassie, Golden Hostess. But before I hand over to you, I'll be taking some swingers about Happy Chance and Make It Snappy at those huge odds.
Yeah, it's a deep race, quality race, some magnificent fillies. Bella, I think it's a lot more. I think you're right in this sense that I think it's a lot more competitive than the betting suggests.
Yes.
The betting has got Bella at 15-10, Golden Hostess at 5-1, and big odds about the balance. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bella win. I'm expecting her to win. She's got a superb pedigree. She's out of Bella, of course, who was the Garden Province Stakes winner. She's by Give Me the Green Light. She's a striking grey. She's cracked a very good draw. She won the traditional Cape Fillies Guineas trial. She won the Western Cape Fillies Championship. I would say in more workmanlike fashion than impressive fashion. But if you look at that race, Golden Hostess could easily overturn it. Time for Orchids, Gimmy's Lassie. The 2 you've mentioned, Happy Chance, Make It Snappy. Peach Daiquiri, the PE Raider. I know she steps up from Fairview to Kenilworth, but my goodness, she's been super impressive. She's by the champion-elect Vercingetorix. She could be anything. This race, Bonica, beat Bella back in May and June. So it's a hell of a race. Deep quality. Whatever your fancy, have a go, have an each-way bet. I think it's more competitive than the betting suggests, but my top 2 choices nonetheless would be number 3, Bella, and number 12, Golden Hostess. Golden Hostess only got into the race on the winter course last time when it was all over. Summer course, extra 200 meters. Again, a poor draw to overcome, but watch out for a big run from Golden Hostess. But given the draws, I'll be in the camp of Bella, but I don't believe that she represents value at 15-10. She is the one to beat, but I think it's more open than the betting suggests.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Bella, 15-10, a bit skinny, but she certainly, as you say, is the one to beat. That pedigrees to die for. And yeah, she's going about it the right way. She's an exciting filly. And yes, she is the one to beat. But as Graham and I are saying, we don't think it's as easy. You know, the betting market suggests it's a one-horse race and the rest are sort of prayerless. Well, we don't believe that. 3, 12 and 13 for Graham. And 6 and 11 the value, and obviously 3 Bella for me. But that is race 8. Let's move on to the last race on the card, race 9, which is a divided handicap for fillies and mares, 1,400 meters at 25 past 5. If you're going in the last leg of all your bets here, well, we wish you all the very best. Now, Graham, to start the discussion, talking about value, as I say, I'm either... You know, I've picked a couple of horses today that are at decent odds. And again, in the lucky last race, this horse, A Little Bit Naughty, was fairly well fancied last time. But I've got the feeling that maybe she just needed her seasonal debut, her local debut, call it what you like. When she showed pace and faded, she wasn't disgraced. 5 lengths of Shantastic, who looks to be a very nice horse. Each way selection for me, number 5, A Little Bit Naughty. Your choice?
Yeah, look, this race is very tough. They're betting 9-2 the field, so pretty much it's a field type of race. And that's why I've gone skinny in a number of the early legs and taken chances, because I'm going to put the whole field in the final leg of the pick 6. I'm going to take my chances by going 1 or 2 horses, as I've mentioned, as we've gone through the card, taking a liberty here and there, because if I'm lucky and if I'm correct, I do want to get to the last leg with the entire field running for me. I'll come back to A Little Bit Naughty. If Double Dream was better drawn, I would have made her absolutely the horse to beat. She is the marginal favourite at 9-2. She's drawn worst of all at 13 out of 13. So for that reason, you can't be that confident. I think she's the right filly in the race. And with a bit of luck from that 13 gate, Sean Veal could get the Vaughan Marshall trained runner home. But yes, A Little Bit Naughty has claims, as does Veronique, as does number 4, Turn the Page, number 1, Venus de Milo, number 2, Philosophiers. And perhaps there's even a much bigger upset awaiting us. Thriller, number 8, Beneath the Moon, number 7. They've all got chances. There's absolutely no doubt that this fillies and mares 70 handicap over 1,400 meters is a field race. I can't be of much help other than to say I'm going to be making number 13, Double Dream, my each-way selection, but healthy respect for your choice, A Little Bit Naughty.
Okay, that's the lucky last and well assessed by Graham. Well, Graham, we've given the viewers and the punters, etc., our thoughts and what we like. And obviously it's a preview show, so we haven't gone through every single runner in great detail, but that's what we like, and we hope that we're able to help the punters in some way to make their final decisions. But that's what we like. Lovely to have you on the line, Graham, and obviously you'll be back in the studio one of these days, so we look forward to seeing you in person. But always a pleasure working with you, and thanks for your contribution and feedback as always.
Warren, thank you very much. Nice to be on the show with you. Have a good day.
Lovely. See you, Graham. Cheers. Bye-bye.